Go.
So, hey, Bisky.
Hey,
We're back.
we are back.
This will be episode number 4. So we've had a surprising number of listeners in our first few days. That's very exciting.
It is very exciting. There's 36 people or whatever it was. We thank you for tuning in, and we welcome you. It would be a good time to mention that we have an email address.
We do. It's Bisky and Pookie at gmail.com. BISCYANDPOOKIE at gmail.com. I know it sounds long, but when you start typing it, it really doesn't take very long. I've done it more than once now.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So that said, we welcome any feedback or any message you want to send. We feel free to drop us a line there.
Yeah. We especially like weird YouTube videos. So
yeah, that's always fun. A nice lead on a good YouTube video is always appreciated.
Yeah. Tinfoil hats. So, but that's not
first
actually...
I want to say hey to Eric the Red and and
Sacagawea.
How? And I'm glad that I could turn you on to Clutch and another good one. Listen to Burning Beard. It's off a different album, so
that's a great one.
You'll be able to appreciate that.
And Eric has a great beard.
He does.
So
he does.
like you,
he's my idol. I covet his beard.
You and Eric both have great beards. So, and that is actually a really interesting way to introduce our topic tonight, because we're actually going to break out once a week. Well, it'll actually be twice a week. Once a week per person. One gentleman's broadcast and one lady's broadcast, and kind of what we want to focus on is manliness and womanliness from a Christian perspective. We think, don't we, Bisky, that I think it's pretty clear to anyone who's looking that there is a dreadful attack on manliness in America. In Western civilization.
There is. There's definitely a huge lack in machismo in American men these days, on the grand scale. I mean, there's lots of manly men out there, and but society has made it okay for men to wear skinny jeans, and I think you know where I'm going with that, and makeup and really effeminate hairstyles and stuff like that. I don't want to sound like a hater, but there's not enough manly influence, real good manly influence in this country anyway. But the world at large could benefit from some bearded lumberjack types. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what we want to talk about, and guys that are that do guy stuff, that hunt and fish. I like to fish. I don't hunt. I'd like to, but I never have. But there's a lot of old manly ways that have been lost in America today, and in the world at large, and it's sad. It's a sad state of affairs, and I think that we as men need to step up and really lead the charge.
That's really true, and from a biblical perspective, there's actually a judgment that God pronounces on Israel for their dreadful sin and their unfaithfulness, their spiritual adultery and idolatry. And one of the things that, and what he says is, here it's Isaiah 3, and the whole thing says, starting at verse 1, "For behold, the Lord of hosts, does take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread, the whole stay of water, the mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet, the wise and the ancient, the captains of 50 and the honorable men, the counselors and the cunning artificers," or the men who are skilled at crafting things, "and the eloquent speaker. And I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them." So, I don't know, Bisky, does that sound familiar at all?
Quite.
Yeah.
Sounds like the place and time that we live.
It sure does. It sure does. It's a little spooky, isn't it? So, in addition to that, hold on one second. Bisky, say something?
Say something. I'm muted myself.
Are you muted? Okay. Okay,
You just missed me say indeed. We're good.
possibly. So, in addition to all of that, we also think that that womanliness, that the meaning of womanliness has been lost and replaced with a shambling, hideous, smoking, hot wreckage of sewage. Does that describe it?
I think you got them all.
Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's.
I absolutely resent being represented as a woman by some of the shambling wreckages out there today. Hillary Clinton. I mean, Jesus says to tell the truth. So here it is. Hillary Clinton is disgusting. And she's just like the figurehead of this whole hideous pirate ship full of just angry, ugly women.
Manly
women. They hate men, but they try real hard to act like them. In a lot of ways, it's really strange.
It is strange.
And the Bible has a lot to say about how to live life properly. And there's a lot of women's Bible studies and a lot of focus on women in the church these days, but it's all in a really unhealthy way. It's really compartmentalized. It's all how to be a good wife or how to be a good mother, and it does not focus on whole Christians, and it does not produce whole Christians. And I think that when you go to a Bible study in order to learn how to be a better wife, if it does not work, then will you keep going? And can chopping the Bible up into bits and applying it like Band-Aids to random parts of your life ever work? And it, to me, is a recipe for disaster.
We know some of those folks.
We do. And I want to pitch in. I want to, I've suffered from it, and I've crawled out from under it, and learned a better way. And so I just want to pitch in, and help some of you ladies come out from under it. And that's from a lot of directions. I when I say it, I mean like the grody-ness that the world wants us to represent as women, and the two-dimensional mother wife that the church wants us to represent.
And that's and women, with women, I think that those opposite ends of the spectrum, to coin a phrase, are a lot further apart than they are for men. Does that make any sense?
Oh, it does.
Because
absolutely.
We've got, you can only be one type or another, kind of in a blend of the two in being a man. But women,
yeah,
you've got women that want to be men. You got women that don't want to keep their pants on.
They don't own any pants, I don't think.
Right. You got women that are obsessed with like power and money, just like men are. A lot of men. I'm just saying, the power, the
Yeah.
business suit
They've
type.
proven themselves.
Yeah, and it's
Glass ceiling smashers.
first of all, does that make that woman happy? Really? I mean, she's
It doesn't
obviously
seem to.
lacking something.
It doesn't seem to.
And,
Antidepressant usage is
and then what's the end result?
epidemic.
You've gone on a lot of vacations.
Yeah,
And
you gotta have a pile of receipts and,
Right.
and tax returns. It all amounts to piles of paper
Yeah,
at the end of a life. You see these folks on, and lots of women these days, especially on the internet. I remember at one point there was a hashtag Team No Kids, and you know what I always thought about when I would see the hashtag Team No Kids? I always thought about one of those sad pictures you see every now and then of a little old lady in a wheelchair, just by herself, staring out a window, an institutional window. Because that's Team No Kids. Congratulations, you won.
Ouch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's painful to think about. Even there's little ladies doing that do have kids that do come see them that are still lonely.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. So even for us with a whole bunch of kids like me in Sacagawea, hey, she's got a whole tribe of kids. Shoot, you just really never know. I could end up in a wheelchair staring out a window. You're right about that. So how much better are your odds?
Yeah.
Team No Kids. So I mean, it's a real short-sighted way of thinking, and it's real, and I'm not saying obviously as someone might accuse me of that people should have children for utilitarian purposes, so that said children should cut their toenails later on in life. But I am saying that you're not thinking clearly about the cost benefit analysis. You're not doing that math properly. The
toenail thing is great though, but the toenail thing is great though. But
my granddaddy.
That's a byproduct.
I believe my granddaddy at some point was trying to get someone to cut his toenail. I'll have to ask Brian about that. I'm sure it's true though. So anyway, they're not doing the math properly. They're trading in, a lifetime of, that lady that's sitting in the wheelchair staring out the window. She's not materially uncomfortable. She's got a blanket tucked over her lap. She's not starving to death. So,
to what end?
But
to stare for
what I mean is, it's not that you're doing this for mercenary. I'm not suggesting that people have children for mercenary reasons to, because that woman in the wheelchair, she's materially taken care of.
Right.
But she has no love. There is no one who loves her. And if she's got bed sores, who'll know? Except for the people who let her stay in a bad position so that it happened. No one.
That's a sad thing.
And if anyone did know, would they care? Because if she had anyone who cared, would she get bed sores in the first place? I mean, it's bad math, and it's dreadful. I hate it. I hate it for the women of America. We've been tricked. We've been tricked and lied to and stolen from, and in a lot of ways. And of course, in a lot of ways, we've given it all up on purpose for vacations. And you and I know. Eric and Sacagawea know. You stay home to raise your children. You can't do what other people do.
That's right. But there comes a point where you don't want to do the things that other people are doing.
Manly men don't want their wives to pay the bills.
And I love having my wife at home, raising our children, having my dinner on the table, and greeted with a smooch, and rather than two people working late and having no time for each other, and I don't know. It's a sad state of affairs, and I just think that a man likes to be taken care of. a woman likes to be taken care of in ways